Hey peeps, Pinkolol16 here on another video of Starman3's The Commentator. We're up to Super Mario Randomness 12, Yoshi James the Random Lola, as the title seems to highlight. This is the first out of the videos where around the time period of the making of the video I had involvement in. In fact, this video wouldn't exist if I didn't exist, so let me clarify the origin story around this video, considering I have the ability to do that now. Back around the beginning of 2013, around January, going through to at least February before we kind of stopped, as often. Starman3 was into a place called a fan site called Radio Nintendo. It's basically what the name sounds. It was radio podcasts of discussion about Nintendo. Not just that, Nintendo music would also play from any Nintendo game you might think of. They also stretched the rules so that if you were interested in another series that was on a Nintendo console, say a Sonic game or some other type of third-party title, so long as it released on a Nintendo console, you could play the music from that game. So, pretty cool place. Starman3 was extremely interested and stayed there for a very long time until we learned pretty much the names of all the show hosts. There was one particular show that we liked, and this was around the time I began to follow Starman3 throughout all the chat rooms, including Xat. There was a show host named Gerbil Bay who hosted a show called Talk to the Animal. And whilst these streams were going, because they were technically streams of audio, there would be a chat room, not just on the site, an IRC chat room that you could talk in. And when shows would run, they would normally call out a roll call to make it seem as if, yes, the show is actually being listened to by people, the people who are chatting about the show right now. So, Gerbil Bay had this really funny special effects thing where he would say people's names with weird sound effects. And after a while, this grew funny. A guest joined him on his show later on, whose name was Yoshi James, and Yoshi James saw my name in the roll call and went nuts with it. And this didn't happen once, this happened several times, to the point where even the YTR community started treating it as a YTR meme, and by YTR community I mean the exact chat, and this was getting bad. In fact, it came to a point where people only started knowing me in the chat by the very existence of the meme, put that in giant quotes. It was the day this video was released, which was the day Starman3 decided to even do something about it, which was the day I joined YTR, and, like, consequently, my involvement in YTR became a bit more, involved, I guess, since I could literally see everything that they did, since Skype was practically their main base, so yeah. Also, he just randomly made this color code on the spot. Look at how rushed it is. Yeah, you notice why it looks extremely off? Starman3, yes, did get the color code from my channel, which was on my channel at the time in my channel description. However, being the lazy idiot he was and seeing as he did not bother to copy paste the code properly, he only copied everything but the face and hair values of the color code. So for like 3 or so videos, you're gonna be seeing this because Starman3 was so lazy he didn't bother to change it until at least May of the same year. This was February of that year. Look at how much that time gap happened. Look at how big that time gap was, I mean, seriously. At the time this was released, I was too hyped up to even properly care about the fact that my color code was wrong. I knew it was wrong when I first watched it, but I hardly counted it to laziness back then. Keep in mind this was back in the days when I was more of a fangirl than anyone mature. Even if I acted mature inside, I was just going super hyped up, pretty much. Yeah. Also, look how I'm relegated to the character that just randomly comes out of darn nowhere. No reference whatsoever. And I'm not even kidding, there aren't even any SM64 videos in between then and this video. It's just remixes, so we'll put that in quotes, remixes and update videos. Look at the jumps he makes. Also, there is something in his green screen that he failed to properly account for, and that's Yoshi James's gloves keep vanishing. Yeah, see, right here. They're just gone. Word of advice, Starman3, don't create a color code on the spot, and if you're going to do a color code on the spot, make sure it actually is going to work with your color screens. Seriously. Don't film when you've got a color code that doesn't work with your color screen. That's exactly why I custom made a red screen for myself, because I hate the darn blue it puts the my overall color code through, because green exists to lighten the blue in the color code, and any fragment of green is just utterly destroyed by Sony Vegas, and I hate it. So I custom made a red screen for myself, which kills the sideburns, but hey, those aren't really as noticeable as the gloves darn vanishing. Again, look at what he'll do to get a video out in under at least 2 hours. Or at least like an hour. Or less. Point being, it's Rush. This is the actual sound clip, by the way. This is what I went through. And that very day was the very same sound clip that he got, so he only got the one from that day. It was February 25. Oh my god. See, when you pause it, you make it worse. He loops this, but he did go on for a very long time originally. See, there you go. You can tell when it starts looping, because it suddenly changes tone and fluctuation. Yeah, this really did not deserve the position it got. I suddenly turned into Starman3 with my grammar. Seriously, and look who's repeating recordings. I don't think that's the proper line to say in that situation either. Seriously. In fact, I don't even think I ever said that at all during the entirety of my time whenever that even happened. I think I would just be like, seriously, on its own. Starman3, however, his script lines have to encompass at least 2 sentences or they're bad. You notice how Starman3 doesn't really have any kinds of short scenes. Every scene has to have a character speaking with at least 2 or 3 lines, a sentence in whenever they're speaking. They don't really say things like, oh, or yeah, just agreeing, just like there's sometimes it's like yay or surprise or something, but he doesn't really do that too often. It's not like the characters have a conversation, they're just speaking for like 3 lines before the scene moves on. That's human life. People just speak for ages. So you can tell this really wasn't very hard to push out in at least like 2 or 3 hours. And remember, I remembered him making the video before I left for school that day. So I came home and it was up. When it was up, originally, like when I came home, that was a 6-hour school break. So 6 hours, under 6 hours it took him to make this. And look at how it turned out.
Pinkolol16, what's up? Wait, what the hell? What happened to him? What's happened to you?
Dude, it's called What the Hell in terms of consistency. Are you going to have voice or are you going to have text? Again, he pushed this out in under 6 hours just because I had to go to school. He put text in there. Wow, you lazy douchebag.
Before he spaced out and then.
Oh yes, and a Roblox Goes Crazy probably that nobody cares about because I don't remember him doing that in Super Mario 64 at all.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Remember, you've got to be interested in everything Starman3 puts out or else you're not going to understand these references. When he means that, he means that Roblox Goes Crazy probably because there's no way that Yoshi-Man would have any kind of prominence in the Super Mario 64 videos where people keep vanishing and appearing every video, including me and Yoshi James here right now. I'm not putting this on any higher credit just because I'm in it. In fact, I'm putting it on a worse credit. Yes, even if it's the video that got me into the group, I'm still gonna pummel it like every other video. And by put into the group, it was because Starman3 was in the mindset at the time to even think about that in the first place. His attention span was at the perfect point for him to even consider it. Had it been a day or more, he would have completely forgotten. You can tell by the fact that those sub-specials all took place in probably under 6 hours like this video did. He only remembered that Super Mario Randomness existed just so he could make this. And he only made it, and again, under 6 hours just to push it out.
Second now. He could explode.
In a second now, I'm gonna stop with this video.
Just
In a second now, I'm gonna repeat the recording. I'm gonna be inconsistent, you know?
watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be self-aware in the video, and I'm just gonna say, hey, he's just gonna explode. That'll happen, and we just gotta wait for it. It actually does happen, but yeah, being self-aware doesn't make you funny. Instantly. Oh, really? I don't think he ever said 16 in the actual, things. Which was probably a reason for that. And again, under 6 hours.
You know, somehow.
I rushed this video!
I told you so. Doesn't quite just say it.
I don't know what he even says there after he says, I told you so. But he doesn't need to say, I told you so, when he's the one basically predicting all the events of the video. Mask fades. They're beautiful, aren't they? You can just tell that he cared about me at that very specific day. Because he only had the attention span for 5 hours, 6 hours just to even make it once. Oh yes, isn't your entire series a joke? See y'all, have a good day, peace, and I'll see you in Super Mario 64 Blooper 43. Which, funnily enough, will be the only video in this whole thing which won't have me in it.